Has any one of you aspiration to join the foreign service? No. But you know the difference between the IAS and the IFS and IPA. So, but now when I joined the foreign service was the topmost in everybody's mind because diplomacy was something new. But today it has changed completely. Foreign travel is not a great attraction. But IAS officers seem to travel more than us. And everything is available in the country. So its orientation is changed. So now even if you are 200th in the merit list, you are likely to get into the foreign. Those who are at the higher levels don't join the foreign service. They prefer IAS or some even IPA. So there is a qualitative difference of the people who get into the foreign service. Choice is not. So the level of abilities of the foreign service has not changed. But it's easier to get into the foreign service than now than before. But if you are honest, there is money in the foreign service. Everything is taken care of, housing is free, electricity is free, everything is free, education. Because you are living abroad and so you need all this solution. So if you want comfortable living, foreign service is probably the best. Except that every 3 years you have your new system, language, new schools for the children, doctor for yourself. No, it's a mess. You don't grow roots anywhere. So at the end of it, if you are fit and well and can stand up, it's a great achievement. It's a very tough kind of routine. And you need to have a tremendous amount of restraint. You are kind of liberated. The options are many. You can go the way you want. Nobody really supervises. There are lots of casualties in the firms. People get drunk, families break up. And all this will happen, doesn't happen in India because you are under supervision. You are an IAS officer. You can't do too much of philanthropy. So you have to keep an image of yourself. So it's a mix of everything. But we say that casualty rate in the foreign service is as much as in the fighting forces. Health issues, family issues. But 99% of the people get through all this and come back alive and continue to take interest. I retired 20 years ago, but I don't feel I have retired. I'm still doing the same old things that I used to do while I was in service because people require your views, your opinion.
My name is Sahil Agarwal, and on behalf of GD Goenka Bareilly, it's an absolute honor for me to welcome you to our podcast, that is Saat, Sawaal. Sir, it's an amazing opportunity for us as well to interact with such a high diplomat like you. And so I would like to begin with my question. That is, sir, as far as I know, you visited Bareilly for the first time, and here you interacted with students, you are interacting with us. Yesterday also we saw you. So, sir, how was your overall experience here?
Well, technically, this is not the first time. I've been here 50 years ago.
Oh.
I was sent to a leadership training program in Manila. And so on my way back, I stopped in Bareilly. I stayed with him. I don't even know where it was. The place doesn't look anything like that.
Yes, sir.
It's a kind of village. But at that time, a lot of Kerala teachers used to come.
Yes.
It's difficult to get teachers here, so English. And so I happened to stay with them. Of course, they went back to Kerala and I'm still back to them. But I called them and asked them, I'm going to Bareilly. They had themselves forgotten everything. They couldn't tell me a place I should visit or anything. So that's true. But now what I see Bareilly and UP is all very new.
And my question to you is that during your years of representing India at the United Nations, you must have witnessed the limitations and the strengths of global diplomacy up close. So what were the few defining experiences or the challenges that you faced in trying to balance India's national interest and the need for international cooperation?
Well, it is very complex because you take the General Assembly agenda, there are about 400 subjects from existential economic situation to unidentified flying objects. There's an agenda item on UFOs. Any mad head of state can say, I want this to be discussed in the UN. So it happens. And once it starts discussion, then every year it repeats itself. So the variety of the subjects are many. But you may not be interested in everything. India started with an advantage. I still believe that in 1947 to 62 were the golden years of Indian diplomacy. What 62 you know, 62 Chinese aggression transformed everything. The kind of image and reputation that India had internationally suffered a lot. You cannot defend yourself. You are thoroughly defeated in 1962. And if China had decided to continue here, there would have been no resistance. They came, occupied up to Assam, and went back. I don't know why they came, I don't know why they went back. The explanation they gave was to teach India a lesson. So what was this lesson they were trying to teach us? So they felt that India was growing too fast, and China looks at the world as though they are at the center of it. The word Chugoku still means center of the world. They see the world as some kind of a tent, and they are on top and we are all minor subjects. And that was their ambition. And so India was growing, India was very popular, online movement was very important. Many world leaders started from Nehru onwards. They had a leadership position. And so when this happened, I think we were exposed a little bit. We had no shoes for our soldiers, no road there. This is a disaster. So if you are not successful to defend yourself, then your image goes down, whatever else you may have. So it was a struggle afterwards. And the other big problem India had in our diplomacy, because Kashmir question was born with India's independence. Now Pakistan. The problem was every state could join either India or Pakistan. And basically it went by the majority. Muslims were a majority, they joined Pakistan. And because it has to be adjacent. You can't be in Kerala and say, I want to be. But in the border situation, you can decide whether you want to go to India. And it was fairly smooth because of the population. But the decision as to where you join was up to the Maharaja. Because British did not rule India directly. They ruled through Maharajas. Maharaja Travancore, Maharaja Jammu and Kashmir. So if the Maharaja happens to be a Hindu, then he tends to go to Pakistan. There's an obvious case. But in Kashmir, there is a Hindu Maharaja, but a majority Muslim. That was a first class question. Similarly, Nizam of Hyderabad. Mostly they were Hindus, but Nizam was a Muslim. And so he thought that he could join Pakistan. He made some noises. But impractical for Hyderabad to be part of Pakistan. Bangladesh being part of Pakistan itself was a challenge with the whole country. So it had to be practical. So the government of India, the independent India took the decision that we will force you to be with a little police action. So Nizam was convinced. So everything was more or less settled. It was a long process. But Kashmir was a first great challenge because Maharaja was inclined to join India. And so he asked both India and Pakistan to give them some time to decide. There was a strange composition. So they asked for a standstill agreement between India and Pakistan. Don't trouble us, we'll come back to you. With both India and Pakistan accepted. But then they cheated by sending its army into Pakistan. And they wanted to occupy by force. At that time, we could have finished Pakistan off in 10 days. India was a powerful army. But most of the British equipment and machinery, everything was with us, not with Pakistan. And so the generals told Prime Minister Nehru that, no, don't worry. But Prime Minister Nehru took a very idealistic position. He said, I am Prime Minister of India, I believe in peace, I don't have, we are land of Buddha, how can I, the new Prime Minister of India, start a war? So he couldn't think of it being a solution. If that solution had applied, we would have been much happier. This whole problem which is facing India today in terms of everything is Kashmir. So, but he said, but we have established the UN. It's only 2 years old. Why did we establish it? create peace in the world, mediate, blah, blah, blah. So he said, I'll go to New York instead of finishing it off on the Indian border. He took a decision. Still, it is challenged by many people. That was a mistake to make because he should have realized that the UN is not a judicial body. They cannot allot land to people. All that they didn't think. He said, UN has been set up to resolve conflicts. So let's go there. And it is still there on the agenda. It is still India. Kashmir is not part of India according to the UN. You know that. That is people tension. We have accepted it, they have accepted it. And now 80 years are passed. So, how could we have handled it? But then, India's actions in the UN and every issue relating to international relations